Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mythlok, the home of mythology from all around the world. This is your host, Nitin Nair, and today we are diving deep into one of the most beloved and iconic creation myths from the Philippines, the story of Malakas and Maganda. These two figures, born from bamboo, symbolize not just the origin of humankind, but the essence of balance, strength, and beauty in nature. It's a story that resonates across the islands of the Philippines and holds a special place in the hearts of the Tagalog people. This episode promises to be a captivating exploration of one of the Philippines' most cherished tales. So sit back, relax, and let's unravel this magical myth. The myth of Malakas and Maganda is rooted primarily in the traditions of the Tagalog people. They are the largest ethno-linguistic group in the Philippines who inhabit the islands of Luzon. Luzon is the largest and most populous island in the country and home of the nation's capital, Manila. For centuries, the Tagalog people have passed down this myth from generation to generation, keeping alive their connection to nature and their beliefs in balance, duality, and the interconnectedness of all things. This story, like many creation myths, is more than just a simple origin tale. It carries deep cultural meaning that reflect the values and the worldview of the Tagalog people. Now let's get into the story itself. It all begins in a time before the world as we know it existed. The universe was an endless expanse of water, sky, and wind. There was no land, no trees, no animals, no people. Just the vast nothingness of creation waiting to take form. But within this void, there was Bathala, the supreme god who looked upon the emptiness and decided it was time to create life. Bathala at first created a bird who soared over the waters, endlessly searching for a place to land. As the bird flew for days and days, it grew weary and frustrated. Out of its desperation, it flapped its wings violently, causing the sky and the sea to clash. This mighty clash gave birth to something remarkable: a bamboo shoot that suddenly sprouted from the ocean. This was no ordinary bamboo shoot, mind you. It was divine in origin, filled with the creative forces of Bathala himself. The bird, curious about the bamboo, landed on it and began to peck at the sturdy stalk. It pecked and pecked and pecked, and soon a crack appeared in the bamboo. With a final peck, the bamboo split open, revealing two beings inside, Malakas and Maganda. Malakas, whose name translates to strong in Tagalog, was the first man, and Maganda, meaning beautiful, was the first woman. Together they represented the duality of existence, strength and beauty, masculine and feminine, power and grace. This creation myth is beautifully symbolic. Bamboo, a plant known for its strength, flexibility, and resilience, represents the natural world and the idea that humans are deeply intertwined with nature. The fact that Malakas and Maganda are born from bamboo emphasizes this connection to the environment, a reminder that humans emerged from the natural world and are part of its balance and harmony. The duality of Malakas and Maganda also speaks to the importance of balance between strength and beauty, between masculinity and femininity in all of creation. After emerging from the bamboo, Malakas and Maganda found themselves alone in the world. There was nothing but the endless sea beneath them and the sky above. They had no land to call their own, no place to plant their feet and begin their lives. Bathala, seeing their predicament, took pity on them and decided to intervene once again. He commanded that the waters and the winds to come together, and from this union, the islands of the Philippines were born. Suddenly, Malakas and Maganda had a home, a beautiful archipelago of lush green islands surrounded by blue seas. It is said that they began their lives together on these islands, and from them, the human race was born. Malakas and Maganda became the ancestors of all Filipinos, and their children spread across the islands, eventually giving rise to the various tribes and ethnic groups that populate the Philippines today. But the story just doesn't end with the creation of land and people. Malakas and Maganda, as the first man and woman, took on important symbolic roles in Filipino culture. Malakas, representing strength, was often seen as the embodiment of leadership, courage, and resilience. He was a protector, a warrior, and a leader, someone who ensured the survival and prosperity of his people. Maganda, on the other hand, was a symbol of beauty, not only in terms of physical appearance, but also in spirit. She represented creativity, kindness, fertility, and the nurturing aspects of life. Together, they balanced each other perfectly, creating a harmonious world where strength and beauty worked hand in hand. And just before we dive even deeper into the story of the Malakas and Maganda, let me remind you to hit that like button, subscribe to the podcast, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you stay updated with all our future episodes. We love sharing these incredible myths from around the world with you, and your support makes it all possible. Now let's talk about what makes Malakas and Maganda truly unique. In many versions of the myth, they aren't just regular humans. They possess special powers and abilities that set them apart from the mortals they created. Malakas, true to his name, possessed extraordinary strength. His power wasn't just physical, it was a symbol of his leadership and resilience. He could bend the force of nature to his will, commanding the elements to protect his people and ensure their survival. He was seen as a pillar of strength, the foundation upon which human society was built. His leadership was rooted in his ability to inspire those around him, to guide them through difficult times, and to ensure their safety in the face of adversity. Maganda, on the other hand, had her own set of unique skills. Her beauty was more than just skin deep. It radiated through her kindness, her nurturing spirit, and her creative energy. In some variations of the myth, Maganda was said to have the power to heal. Her touch could restore life, and her presence could bring peace and harmony to those around her. She represented the feminine qualities of care, fertility, and the life-giving forces of nature. Together, Malakas and Maganda were a perfect pair, each complementing the other's strengths and ensuring the survival and flourishing of their people. So what happened after Malakas and Maganda's creation of humankind? Their children spread far and wide, populating the many islands of the Philippines. Over time, these descendants grew into the various ethnic groups and tribes that we see today: the Tagalog, the Visayan, the Ilocano, and many others. Malakas and Maganda are considered the common ancestors of the Filipino people, and their story is often cited as an explanation for the unity and diversity found within the archipelago. Their myth doesn't just end with their role as the first humans, though. Throughout the ages, the figures of Malakas and Maganda have been used to represent the strength and beauty of the Filipino people. During the times of colonization, oppression, and struggle, the myth of the Malakas and Maganda became a source of inspiration, symbolizing the resilience and unity of the nation. In modern times, the figures of Malakas and Maganda have been reimagined in various forms of art, literature, and even politics. They have come to represent the ideal qualities of strength and beauty that many Filipinos aspire to. In some cases, they are depicted as national symbols embodying the spirit of the Filipino people, resilient, creative, and deeply connected to their roots. Now, as we reflect on the story of Malakas and Maganda, it's worth asking ourselves, what does it mean to strike a balance between strength and beauty in today's world? Can we, like Malakas and Maganda, find harmony between our inner strength and the beauty that surrounds us? In a world that often values power over kindness or outward beauty over inner resilience, how can we learn from this myth and strive for a more harmonious existence? What lessons can we take from Malakas and Maganda's story to apply in our lives today, especially when it comes to our relationship with nature and with each other? Thank you for joining me on this fascinating exploration of Malakas and Maganda, the mythological first man and woman of Philippine mythology. Their story is not just a tale of creation, but a profound reminder of the balance between strength and beauty, power and grace. In many ways, the lessons of this ancient myth are more relevant today than ever. As always, if you like this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. I would love to hear your thoughts on this incredible myth and how does it resonate with you? What parallels do you see in your own life or culture? Feel free to leave a comment or reach out to us on social media, because you know that we respond to every comment or mail that we receive. Until next time, keep exploring the myths that shape our world here on Mythlok, the home of mythology. This is your host, Nitin Nair, reminding you to stay curious and stay mythical.